Riding trains without a ticket began with the inception of railroad travel. Wandering Willies arrived here in Tucson with the very first trains. Just 2 days before the official train arrived, the Arizona Daily Star said, "So far, the town has been spared the affliction of that detestable evil known as the city tramp. One can walk down the street of an evening and not be bothered by some impertinent, dirty vagabond asking in a whining tone for a little assistance." Soon, that same newspaper lamented, "Just 3 weeks ago, the tramping beggar was not known in Tucson, and now you can walk down a street of any evening and be bothered by them." Lack of a regular job, a guiding purpose in their life, or a dwelling to call their own, define many in this loose-knit group of railroad ramblers, hobos, tramps, freeloaders. The public used the names interchangeably. Among the men of the road, however, each denoted a specific lifestyle. A hobo jumped a freight train. A tramp walked the railroad right-of-way. Both felt it was important and took pride in doing a little chore for some family to get a bite to eat. And a freeloader was a no-good bum who wouldn't chop weeds or cut grass or chop firewood for a meal. The wholesale adoption of the linotype printing press in the late 1880s threw many men out of work and swelled hobo ranks. The 1893 Depression didn't help a bit either. All across the nation in hobo jungles, a culture grew among these mostly male travelers, complete with a code of honor and a symbol system for communicating with each other. Be it circumstances or volition, many men felt that the only way to ride was to hop a train for free. Many rode in the blind baggage, behind the tender and in front of the baggage car. Great car literati built the first hobo jungle in Tucson between 3rd and 4th Avenue, where 9th Street crossed Railroad Arroyo, now Arroyo Chico, near the Shanty Bar. At the time, Weiland's Beer Depot fueled hobo activities and earned the area a notorious reputation. A permanent camp stayed until 1892, when the city built a large wagon bridge and the hobos cleared out. The SP built a bunkhouse there at what is now 120 to 128 North Hoff Avenue. A fascinating quadrangle developed between the boxcar gentry, the company's brakemen, railroad police or bulls, local law enforcement, and the citizens of Tucson. Some families fed the rootless travelers. The brakemen and the bulls waged a brutal and sometimes deadly war against any who would ride their trains for free or even step onto the railroad right-of-way. Local law enforcement staged hobo crusades and tramp roundups. Gathering 20 or 30 transients at a time, they would have them convicted of vagrancy and tell them to get out of town or serve time by working on a chain gang. Hobo historian Hood River Blackie declared that there were only 50 hobos still on the road when local switchman Sid Showalter photographed his catalog of hobo history on the side of a boxcar here in town. From hard-boiled gay cat to harmless bindlestiff, men walked the lines and rode the rails from here to there to nowhere during the steam age. Few stories of free rail travel ended in success. Some travelers showed noble character and earned respect and admiration from Tucsonans. One such character was Desert Charlie. In his first trip, he had misplaced his wife and child. Distraught, for the next many years he walked the line in search of them. Desert Charlie's tramping up and down the line was good news for the Southern Pacific Railroad. He reported accidents that saved hundreds of lives and thousands of dollars. A broken rail here, a bridge out there, a car still on the track. Well, Desert Charlie earned such renown that noted engineer Maynard Flood, one of the Maynards for whom Maynard's Market and Kitchen is named, asked to have his picture taken with the Desert Wanderer. Desert Charlie, why do you so long roam? Desert Charlie, won't you ever find a home? Well, Charlie built a legend that flew out far and wide, searching for his family that he lost right from his side. That awful time his loved ones just up and went away set him on the fruitless path he trudged day after day. Now his vanished loved ones weighed hard on Charlie's soul, for without his wife and child, his life would ne'er be whole. That big old steamer rambled westward, headed for the coast, and his sweetheart dear told him that she loved him just the most. But when that big old locomotive chugged out of El Paso, then his heart was broken. Oh, he missed her so. Panic tore into his heart as the station disappeared. His family left behind, his soul now filled with fear. Mile after dusty mile in search of all he'd lost, Charlie walked the railroad track no matter what the cost. Desert Charlie, why do you so long roam? Desert Charlie, won't you ever find a home? Through blazing sun and stinging hail, Charlie tramped the line, searching for his dearest ones that never would he find. Hurting deep inside, he came to know the railroad men all along the track. And though they'd seen him down and out, they'd never seen him crack. The railroad boys all helped the troubled, lonely man. A loaf of bread, a bean burrito, something from a can. The men all bid him well and tried to do him good, helped him move on up the line whenever that they could. Though his search had failed to free him from his vicious, aching pain, his tramping through the dust and mud was not all done in vain. Charlie warned the railroad of troubles up the line, not just once, you see, but time right after time. Our hero saved so many lives and dollars all around, helping big steam engines keep from crashing to the ground. Not one dime of compensation did he ever ask. Just point him to his family, and he'd head for home at last. Desert Charlie, why do you so long roam? Desert Charlie, won't you ever find a home?